It's Ask the Tax Lady with Esther Gulius and E.G. Tax on News Radio 930 WBEN. To reach Esther now, call 803-0930. Toll free at 1-800-616-9236. And cell calls are free at star 930. And now, live from the WBEN studios, it's Esther Gulius.
Hey everybody, this is the Tax Lady, and this is our hour to talk taxes. And look, you got 21 days until the die is cast, and we want to help you to reduce your tax liability. And sometimes it's just like getting yourself off the couch and doing some little thing that could save you $300, $500, $1,000, $2,000, $18,000. You'd be surprised what you can save if you spend some time now in the next 21 days. Stop those Christmas cookies. We are talking taxes. 803-0930, 803-0930, star 930 on the cell phone. And, of course, I'm joined in studio as every week with Tiffany Fabian. Hey, Tiff.
Hey there, Esther. How are you doing?
I'm good. You got those Christmas cookies done?
You know it. I'm thinking about it. I had thoughts about them dancing in my head, but
yeah. Christopher Fabian. Hey, Chris.
Hello, Esther.
Did she make any cookies, or do you help her?
Oh, our kids do it mainly.
You do a lot of it.
That's good. I don't have any kids to do them for me. My kids are long gone, you know.
Well, your husband can.
Okay. All right. So, why don't we talk? Now, tax season is going to be modified somewhat because identity theft is a problem. And I know a lot of people say, okay, I'm going to send in my return paper so that I don't have to worry with identity theft. That really has nothing to do with it, right?
No, because the same process that occurs electronically occurs paper, but when you do it paper, it just makes the process even slower.
Longer.
Yes.
So you don't even know. At least when you send it electronically, you know immediately it rejects. So like, oh my gosh, I have a problem. Somebody took my social security number. But when you send it in paper, it's like 10 weeks before they get back to you. Then you have to start the process. So it really doesn't make it more susceptible to identity theft when you file electronically. No. There are people all over the world that are trying to get your social security number, your identification, your address, and stuff about you so that they can steal your social security number.
That's right. That's right. And before I forget...
When are our offices opening?
They're opening on the 18th of January. And don't forget, too, you were talking about tax season and all that fun stuff. Refunds, if you have children and you're an early filer, the IRS is not going to start sending out refunds until at least February 15th.
That's right. That's our first circle of refunds. So if you think, I'm going to get in early to get my refund early, they're not going to send it to you. So, but one of the things that we have kind of on our shelf this year is something that's called a pre-fund.
Yep.
And that's right. It's $1,000. Once your return is accepted by the IRS, then they will give you $1,000 of your refund within 24 hours, and then the rest, your refund money, and then the rest comes in the normal time frame, about 2 to 3 weeks.
Or
longer,
depending upon if they're scrutinizing the things. So that'll help out. But the easiest way to help out yourself is to change your W-4.
That's right.
Yeah. So that way you're not...
Go to your employer and say, I'd like to claim 3 allowances or 4 allowances or 5 allowances or whatever it is, especially if you got an earned income credit, so that you get your money up front so you're not sitting around waiting for the state of New York or federal government to send you your money back.
Amen. Amen. And then also on January 21st, we're doing a seminar with Mr. Russ Gullo, and he's the real estate exchange artist and activist and person who's an expert. That's the word I'm looking for. And he can help you with exchange. So don't forget to register. It's at the Millennium Hotel.
So let's say that you have a 2-family house in Buffalo and you say, I'd like to get a new one and move it to Clarence. You can do that exchange so that you don't have to pay taxes up front.
Right.
It's not like there's something you have to do. There's no hoops you got to jump through. Russ Gullo jumps through the hoops.
Right, and that's all. That's rental property. It's not your personal house. Because
It has to be investment. It has to be an investment property.
Right. Because
Well, it's got to be like for like.
like for like. But and the thing is too, with your personal house, you can make up to $250,000 profit if you're single, $500,000 profit if you're married. So the exchange for a personal house, you really don't need it, especially around here.
I will tell you, if I had my life to live all over again, I would buy a house every 2 years and sell it. Because the first
And if anybody could have done it, you
$500,000
could have.
gain is tax free.
That's right.
I mean, talk about such a deal. I did that a lot anyway.
You did,
in my life.
but Chris and I just moved, and oh my God, I said to Chris so many times, I don't know how Esther has done it. I don't. It's a hard thing. It's really hard.
Hey Tiff, look, if you could make $200,000 every 2 years tax free, I mean, it's a job.
It
it's
really
another
puts
job that you
a lot of feet under your fire.
And then you could sell your furniture too, so that's one less thing you have to worry about.
Okay, the other question is it too late to tax plan?
No.
You got 21 days till the die is cast, and EG Tax will help you. We don't charge you to sit down and talk to you. We'll give you some suggestions. If you say, no, thank you, I'm not interested, that's great. We're not selling anything except for knowledge, and we don't charge for that, right, unless we do your return.
That's right. Absolutely.
So let us go to the phones before we talk about our commonly missed deductions, and I think we have Joe from Buffalo. Hey, Joe.
Hello?
Hey, Joe. How can we help you?
Oh, I got a question. Retired from Erie County, about 5 years now. Way back when, I bought a stock purchase plan in Procter & Gamble and reinvesting the dividends. And at a point when I would cash them in, it's not that much. I mean, it's a few hundred shares. But the cashing in, as long as I'm paying the tax on the dividends, I was wondering what taxable liability might occur if I cashed them or paid them, other than maybe, maybe I don't know how I would figure that. That's what.
All right, so your original basis, what you paid for it, plus all your reinvested dividends gives you an adjusted basis. The difference between the adjusted basis and what you sell it for would be your gain or loss. So let's just say that you paid $5,000 for the stock and the reinvested dividends were $3,000. So that means your adjusted basis is $8,000. If you sell it for $9,000, you have a $1,000 gain.
Yeah. So just like Esther said, Joe, don't also forget to add all those reinvested dividends that you've paid tax on all those years.
Well, would the company, since it's like an investment plan, would the company provide that information? That's, I guess, where my question lies.
Well, the only one that can answer that would be your company. So you should call them and say, hey, this is Joe. I bought this. What's my adjusted basis? And if they kept track of it, they will give it to you.
I got to say, most times, would you agree with me, Chris? They don't provide it.
They didn't have to before 2011. So sometimes they did, sometimes they didn't. So it's you got to be careful with the figure they give you.
A bunch of 10, 12 years is going to be difficult.
Yep.
Well, here's the thing. If you pull out your tax returns, if you've saved them for the last 12 years, and if we were doing your return, we could give it to you. You can take a look at your Schedule B, and you can see how much those dividends were, and just add them up per year, and you can keep track of it yourself. So if you kept track of your dividends, or if you have your tax returns, and you look at your Schedule B, your dividends that you pay taxes on are going to be right there.
Okay, all right. So like I say, but that's right. That's what I figured. The dividends would be part of the basis because I already paid tax on them.
Correct.
Okay, very good.
All right, Merry Christmas, Joe.
Merry Christmas. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right, let's go to George in line 2. Hey, George, how can we help you?
We got John on line 2.
Oh,
George switched to John.
Switch to John. Hey, John, how can we help you?
Hello, how you doing?
Good.
My wife's mother had her home put into my wife's name and her brother's name about 20 years ago, and she continued to live there. She passed away, and they sold the house, and I'm wondering about the taxes on the income from selling it.
Did she actually change the deed, or did she do a life estate?
She changed the deed. But these
I hate to tell people that bad news. Tiff and Chris, you can tell John the bad
resident
news.
or something.
Yeah, when that's considered that's considered a gift, and when it's a gift, it goes back to the original basis. So, John, whatever your mother had originally paid for it is what the kid's basis now is. Plus improvements. Now, half of it was the mother-in-law also co-owner with her husband.
Years ago, yes.
So half of it is going to be a stepped-up basis. Yeah. Did she do this after the husband passed away?
Yes.
So when did the husband pass away?
30 years ago.
Oh.
Okay, so like Tiffany said, when you actually gift a house, and this is very important for people listening, a life estate is the most effective way for you to have your children become the heirs of your home without it causing them a great tax problem upon the sale after you pass, okay? A life estate. If you actually gift the home, which it sounds like John's wife had done, then it goes back to what mom and dad paid for the house plus any improvements. And from that, from the sale price less the expensive sale is going to be the taxable, she's going to pay taxes on it. So,
okay.
So were the property taxes coming in mother-in-law's name or your wife's name?
Mother-in-law's.
Then it sounds like a life estate.
It almost sounds like a life estate. It does.
Okay, so you know what? This is a radio show, but we need to do some stuff to make sure you don't shoot yourself in the foot. So what I would like you to do, John, is call City Hall and find out if the taxes were in your mother-in-law's name or your wife's name, and whoever it was that did the deed, talk to that attorney to make sure that if they did a life estate, because that's going to save you a substantial amount of taxes.
Call us during the week if you need help sorting it out.
We'll be very happy to help you.
Okay.
Okay, John?
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Good question,
632-7886 is our phone number, by the way, at the office if you need help. And there's no charge to help you over the phone. If we do a tax return, that's the time that we charge, but we don't charge for information or for consultation. Sometimes people will come in and they say, I can't believe you're going to not charge me. But we just don't, because we believe in casting our bread upon the water, helping everybody as much as we can. And we want to be a resource for you. So I'm Esther Golias, the tax lady from EG Tax, 803-0930, 803-0930, star 930 on the cell phone. I got Tiffany Fabian, Christopher Fabian. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be back with your calls on the other side.
Attention real estate investors. Thinking of selling investment property? Pay no tax. Call R.J. Gullo Companies, qualified intermediaries for 1031 exchanges and real estate investment specialists. For a free consultation on how to pay no tax when selling investment property, call 675-1500 or online at rjgullo.com. That's 675-1500 or online at rjgullo.com.
Hi, this is Esther, and let me tell you how great it is to have an insurance agent like Nationwide's Bill Barber. Bill's 40-plus years experience has saved me money on my premiums and potential claims. Have an insurance question, problem, or crisis? Bill will work with you personally without calling an overseas customer service number. All I can say is whenever I need someone on my side, I'm glad to have Nationwide's Bill Barber.
For all your insurance needs, call the Bill Barber Agency at 688-2199. Call 688-2199 today.
Nationwide is on your side.
The heating season is here. Wentz Propane and Oil wants you to stay warm. Call today to schedule your delivery and get $100 off your next delivery if you refer a friend. Call Jack today at 731-9826 or 731-3015. Mention EG Tax for a special discount. Call today, 731-9826. That's 731-9826 for Wentz Propane and Oil.
This is Attorney Dennis Kitchen. How is your credit score? If you can't keep up with monthly payments, that can hurt your credit score. This might be a good time to talk to an attorney about getting a fresh start. I've been helping people with their debts for 40 years, and I never charge for an initial consultation regarding debt problems. I'm Dennis Kitchen, and I'd like to help.
For a free consultation regarding debts, call Attorney Dennis Kitchen at 716-631-5661.
Esther Gullius, the tax lady from EG Tax. We want to help you so that you don't overpay your taxes. And taxes are so much a part of everything we do. If you have any questions, you're wondering about the end of the year, 803-0930, 803-0930, star 930 on a cell phone. Tiffany Fabian, Christopher Fabian here in studio. Let's talk, and I know we have Tom holding, but before we get to Tom, why don't we talk about commonly missed deductions? And one of the first things that's expiring in 2016 is the MIP deduction.
That's right, the mortgage insurance. For people who bought a home in 2007 to current, the PMI or MIP, however you want to say it, could be an itemized deduction depending on...
As long as your income isn't over $100,000.
That's what I was just going to say, yes.
Sorry.
That's all right. I got big feet.
And then the other thing is tuition and fees deduction.
Yep. That's an adjustment to income, and that's down at the bottom of page 1 of the 1040, and that's an adjustment to income. So if you don't use the credits on page 2, there was the tuition and fees deduction, which is up to $2,500. $4,000 on page 1 of the 1040, and so that's expiring.
Let's say that you have all graduate students, and the maximum for the lifetime learning credits $10,000, but you can't take the American Opportunity Tax Credit because maybe you have no undergraduates left. The next thing you would move is tuition and fees, and a lot of people don't know that.
That's right. So you can still get the benefit of having the people in college. You get some as the lifetime learning, and then you can use $4,000 potentially as the adjustment to income. So
Correct.
The tuition and fees also helps New York State for graduate because that is a subtraction because it is an adjustment where the education credit for New York State is only for undergrad.
And it was interesting. I was talking to Mike and Glenn, Mike on his show with the financial guys before, and he was talking about how complex the tax law is. It really is because it's like playing chess. You have to move the piece over here. Does that block this thing? And it really is very complex. It isn't, even though you might get a mathematical correct answer if you did it yourself, it might not be the best tax answer, right?
That is so true. I can't tell you.
Going back to my famous list of commonly missed deductions, foreign taxes paid. Now, where would somebody see that?
That's on page 2, and that's
on the 1099 DIV. It's reported
right where you would see it. And the credit foreign taxes paid is on page 2 of the 1040. Yep.
Right. So. And again, if you pay taxes to a foreign entity, you can either take it as a credit or an itemized deduction. Now, the credit is based upon how the taxes paid to the foreign country computes against the total income. But if you're in the 39% bracket and you took it as an itemized deduction, you get a 39% bang for your buck. So it'd be better to take it as an itemized deduction. You can do either one.
Right, and let's not forget New York State has their own version too, whether you pay a provincial tax if you live up in Canada and you have, you're a U.S. citizen and, live here but you work up there, or they also have the form if you pay a different state a tax. So maybe you live in Buffalo and you work in PA and you pay both taxes.
And Chris, you bring up a really great point. The state of New York return in many ways is as complicated, if not more complicated than the federal return.
Yes.
There's all kinds of deductions, credits, adjustments. If you worked out of the state, if you worked in the state, if you worked part of the time, if you're a part-year resident, a full-year resident, there's all kinds of things in New York State. So you want to make sure that you ask the questions and do the best in New York State.
If you're a military person and you had combat pay, I just got finished taking my New York State continuing education, and it's amazing the things that you can do with, on the New York return.
Right, let's go back to the phones. We'll talk to Tom from Freedom. Hey, Tom, how can we help you?
Tom?
Hello, Tom.
Tom going once. Tom going twice. Joe saying he should be there, but he's not there.
There. All right, why don't we put him on hold and go back to line 1 and talk to Chris from Lancaster. Hey, Chris.
Hi, how are you?
Good. What can we help you with?
Hey, I want to sell some losing stocks,
All right,
I don't
good
want
idea.
winning one. So can I write that loss off on anything else, like CDs that have interest?
All right, why don't you explain to her how the Schedule D works?
Sure. You with the losers for stock, the government they're sort of nice, but they're not really that nice. If you lost $10,000 in the stock market, they're only going to let you claim $3,000 of it this year if you have no other gains. Okay, and the rest carries forward to next year. But if you sold that stock for $10,000. A loss, and you sold some other stock for a $5,000 gain, you could use that loss to offset that gain, so you're not going to pay tax on the gain, and then you have a $3,000 loss this year and a $2,000 loss going into next year. With you saying about using it for interest, you're only allowed to use that $3,000 to offset the other interest because that's a different line on a tax return.
So I think what Chris is saying, if you have some gainers this year, that might be a good idea to sell some of those gains.
It's got to be stock to stock.
That's right.
Or any capital asset. So if you had a capital asset that had a gain built into it, but you had losers, you could take the losers up to the gain of the other capital assets plus $3,000. So, but it's got to be capital asset to capital asset.
So you do have to sell winning stocks.
Yeah, you got to have capital, or real estate or land, any capital asset against other capital assets.
Okay, that's my question.
Okay, dear. Thanks for calling. I'm Esther Golias, the tax lady from EG Tax, 803-0930, 803-0930, star 930 in the cell phone. We're talking about commonly missed deductions. How about the business use of a person's home?
Yeah, that's really commonly missed. And I can't tell you how many people say, well, I'm not going to take it because it's a very audible event. But
I'm so scared to take it. I don't want to take it.
Yeah, but if you have a room that you use solely and exclusively for an office, then you're allowed to take it. And so there's really, there is no reason.
And as a matter of fact, they've made it so that there's kind of a short form to do that.
Right.
I was
just going to say for the self-employed person, there is a simplified method where it's just you get $5 per square foot of your house. So you don't even have to worry about your utility bills and your landscaping and all that, and home insurance and all that. You can just take, if you have 100 square foot, you times it by 50.
It's $5.
It's a maximum of 15.
It's $5 a square foot, maximum 1,500.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So, but let's just say your office and home ends up being a $3,000 write-off, all right? And you're self-employed, right? So you're going to save $450 in FICA, number one. Number two, if you're in the 10% bracket, you're going to save $300 in federal taxes. And if you're in the 8% state tax bracket, you're going to save $240. So you're going to save $990 by using that qualified office and home deduction.
Yep.
Now, I don't know about other people, but if my refund went up $990 or my balance due went down $990, that would be pretty important to me. Now, and here's the other thing is if you miss that deduction, you have time to amend the last 3 years' return and get that money. So now we're looking at more like $3,000.
Right. And then also, if you are that self-employed person and you do have that office in the home, that you now can claim your mileage from your home to your first stop of the day.
And which is marvelous.
So that could just, totally give you a lot more money.
That's exactly right.
And another...
I'm Esther Golias, the tax lady, 803-0930, 803-0930, star 930 in a cell phone. Love to hear what you have to say. Let's go back. Let's see, we got business use of the car, which you were just talking about, Chris. So if you have your office and home, and in the morning you go to call on a real estate client or maybe your investment advisor, so from your home, which is your office, to your first stop in the morning might be 20 miles. That would have normally been non-deductible commuting, right?
That's right. That's right. Because you're like an employee going back and forth to work does not count as mileage. So you have to, it's the self-employed person gets that advantage of having that office in the home where they could take that mileage.
Right.
And that's so often missed. It's so often missed because it's usually when you have a 2106, you can't do that. But when you have an office and home for a Schedule C person.
All right, let's look at other missed deductions. Penalty for breaking a CD. Now, I know a lot of people are not into CDs anymore so much because the interest rate is so low. But if you should break a CD, then that's also an adjustment to income.
Yep, that's right. That's down at the bottom of the page. And it's usually indicated on your 1099-B that you get. There's a penalty, and so that's an adjustment to income, and you want to make sure you take advantage of that.
Okay, and then another thing is investment expenses. Expenses that you pay for your broker. Maybe your broker is managing your account.
Right. That goes on your Schedule A.
Investment magazines.
Right, and we can talk more about that after
right, we're
the
going
news.
to take a short break. We'll be on the other side of the news. 8030930, 8030930, star 930 on your cell phone. See you after the news.
Recent reports say the CIA has concluded that Russia interfered in the presidential election with the intent of helping Donald Trump win. Well, now ABC News has learned that the intelligence community has uncovered new evidence which adds a different layer. Nevertheless, the intelligence community says it hasn't settled on the fact that the Russian hack was intended to help Mr. Trump win the election. President-elect Trump meeting today with ExxonMobil CEO Rex Tillerson, a potential frontrunner for Secretary of State. The president-elect is now at the Army-Navy game in Baltimore. Two explosions outside a soccer stadium in Istanbul, at least 20 people injured. More U.S. troops heading to Syria to help fight ISIS.
Defense Secretary Ash Carter announcing that 200 additional U.S. forces will be heading to Syria. The troops will include special forces, trainers, advisors, and bomb disposal units to help the coalition of Kurdish and Arab forces fighting ISIS and recapture its stronghold of Raqqa.
ABC's Lama Hassan, Daria Albinger, ABC News.
Listen to WBEN anytime, anywhere. Online at WBEN.com, with our app on your phone, and now on TuneIn.com. News Radio 930 AM WBEN.
Well, EG Tax is open all year, and we do more than taxes. We do payroll, bookkeeping, budgeting, retirement planning, corporate business setup, offer and compromises, and we even have a New York Health Navigator on staff. EG Tax was thinking of offering oil changes on cars, but then we thought we better just stick to what we do best. So for taxes and much, much more, call 632-7886 or click EG Tax today. Come join our family.
People often ask me or my coworkers about how their investments are going to impact their tax return, and we always would say, consult your tax advisor. Well, I have great news.
This year, EG Tax will have one of our senior tax accountants, Dana Bobowitz, EA, who will work inside the Financial Guide's office on Main Street in Williamsville.
Together, we will be able to meet all your financial needs in one appointment.
We just made it a lot easier for you to come join our family.
Call 633-1515. That's 633-1515 to make an appointment.
Securities offered through Peak Brokerage Services, LLC. Member FINRA SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through Independent Solutions Wealth Management, LLC. The Financial Guys and Independent Solutions Wealth Management are not affiliates of Peak Brokerage Services. Offices located at 6631 Main Street, Williamsville.
The heating season is here. Wentz Propane and Oil wants you to stay warm. Call today to schedule your delivery and get $100 off your next delivery if you refer a friend. Call Jack today at 731-9826 or 731-3015. Mention EG Tax for a special discount. Call today, 731-9826. That's 731-9826 for Wentz Propane and Oil.
Hey everybody, I'm Esther Gulius, the tax lady from EG Tax. 803-0930, 803-0930, with your questions, comments, wondering about what's going to happen next year. I will tell you, I really do think we're all looking at a big tax break. I think that the House and Senate, if they keep Trump in, I think that they're trying real hard to impeach the election. I would not be surprised if they make a new election. I said to my husband the day that Trump won, I said to my husband, I bet you they're going to find a loophole and negate the election.
No.
And it's interesting as they talk about the Russian hacking, how this is beginning to unfold. So that's just my thoughts. Just my thoughts.
No, you got to be
Maybe I'm a
positive.
cynic.
He wasn't born in the U.S. No, wait, that was 8 years ago election. Sorry.
What do you mean born in the U.S.?
He's talking about our former
about
president.
Obama. How
right.
the controversy.
But I just see that they're trying to ramp it up so that they're going to say there was Russian interference. I mean, I think they first did the recount thing that didn't get any traction, so now they're going to do the Russian interference. If Trump gets elected, sworn in, I will be very surprised.
No, I
That's
disagree with you. Everything's going to be fine.
I'm telling you, it's interesting. Last night we were watching Fox News, and my husband, and they announced that Obama said, "Oh my gosh, the Russian hacking," and my husband said, "Oh my God, Esther, you're like telepathic." But I knew that it was going to be tough. This was going to be a tough one. Anyway, we're going to go back.
January
to
will be here before
what
we
do
know
I know,
it.
right?
Yep. I hope you're
All right.
not right.
Let's talk about, and I know we got Mark and Dennis hanging, 8030930, 8030930, star 930 in the cell phone. All right, losses to your Roth. If you liquidated your Roth IRA, you've already paid taxes on it. That's tax deductible. A lot of people don't know that.
Yep. And annuities, right?
Yep.
Chris has always
and
taught
annuities,
me.
right.
Yes.
Yep.
Income to repayments, claim of loss. We know about that, right, Tiff?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I had a client the other day, and claim of right refund. If that occurs and you pay it back, then the following year,
$3,000, and you can do a credit.
yes, on page 2 of the 1040.
A lot of people don't know about that. Legal fees, not for personal stuff, but for income producing. Like, for instance, if you're doing an alimony if you're fighting alimony, or you have to pay alimony, which is tax deductible, taxable.
Trying to get
to
money
the
from
recipient,
your employer.
that would be deductible.
Yep.
Maybe
You
you're
did a
paying
wrongful
for
termination.
You're keeping your job alive. That would be deductible. Those fees are deductible.
Even if you have to fight your health insurance for a medical coverage, that would be part of your medical.
Correct. Disaster losses. I mean, there was hurricanes this year. You might have rental property in the north. On the seaboard, and you lost your property, those disaster losses are deductible.
Right,
Yep.
right.
Casualty and loss.
Well, let's go to the phones, 803-0930, 803-0930, star 930 on a cell phone, and we have Dennis. Hey, Dennis, how can we help you?
Yes, I was wondering, in 2014, I did my taxes early, like in January of 2015, and I happened to come into some money after I did my taxes, so I wanted to put $13,000 in my Roth IRA, so I put $6,000 for 2014 and $6,500 for 2014, and $6,500 for
15
for 2015. And I deducted the $6,500 in 2015.
No. See, Dennis, if you're putting money in a Roth, it's not deductible. Money that goes into a Roth IRA is not deductible. Money that goes into a traditional IRA is.
It was a traditional.
Yay.
Oh, okay.
That's good.
Was it? It is a traditional one.
Okay, and you're a working gentleman, correct?
I'm working, yes.
Okay, so that's good. And your question?
2014, I put the money in after I had already filed, and as a matter of fact, I already had my refund back, and I came into some money in March, and I put it in for 2014 because it was before the filing date.
Okay, so did you amend the return so you got the benefit for that?
No, I didn't. That's what I want to know. Do I have to do the whole return over? Or just,
you have to do a 1040X to get that deduction, or an 8606 to keep track of a non-deductible contribution.
And it affects the state, too.
It would be, I think, in your benefit to amend this return.
And then maybe
as
he gets
soon
a
as
retirement
possible.
credit, too. Are you married or single, Dennis?
I'm married, yes.
And how much do you guys make approximately a year?
about 65, 70,000.
Yeah, they wouldn't qualify.
You're
for that.
close.
So,
You're close.
but how much did you put in to the traditional dentist?
6,500 for each year.
Each one of you,
and all together.
or did you put in 13?
I put in 13, but it was for.
Okay, but see,
But
you're going
just
to have
for
a
you.
refund of
Yeah.
at least $1,300 plus interest. So, in my opinion, you want to amend this yesterday.
So I just get print the 1040X.
1040X, and then you have to do the
1040X.
IT.
Give us a call. We'll be very happy to help you. But you have about probably $1,400 with interest coming back in the federal, plus on the state of New York, you got money coming
Yeah,
back.
so you have to do an
you're
IT
probably looking
201.
at closer to $2,000.
Huh?
I wouldn't let it sitting there.
No way.
Hello, Earth the dentist.
I'm there.
All right, so I mean, it's a lot of money.
Call us on Monday, Dennis,
We'll
at the
help you,
office,
okay?
and we'll help you.
All righty.
All right, thanks then. Bye-bye. Thanks for calling. That's the whole thing. It's so daunting. People go, oh, my God, it's got an X on the back of it. It just sounds so scary. But if he doesn't take that tax deduction, what's going to happen when he doesn't do an 8606? What's going to happen when
He's
he draws
going to
it
pay
out?
tax on that money
He's
again.
going to pay taxes on it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's like this is something that he's compelled to do unless he doesn't want to pay double taxes.
Right.
In my
I mean, and the IRS isn't going to write to him and say,
Hey, Dan, you shouldn't have done that.
Yep.
Nope, they don't do that. It's your responsibility, and so we hope we can help Dennis, right?
Definitely.
All right, let's go to Mark. Hey, Mark.
Hi.
Hi.
I've been listening to you, and I'm really impressed over the time. I have a question regarding reverse mortgages. All right. And are they treated like a normal mortgage where you have to qualify, et cetera? And can
Nope, you don't need to qualify, not based upon any of your credit criteria.
You have to have equity in the house.
You just have to be over the age of 62 and have equity in the house.
So it doesn't make difference what your credit is or anything else?
Nope. It's meant to be a safety net for seniors so that maybe they have a small mortgage left. Let's say their house is worth $200,000 and they maybe have a $40,000 mortgage left. And what they do is they look at like 80% of the value of the house, so that's 160. They'll pay off the 40, and the rest of the equity, the 120, they'll give it to them in a lump sum, or they'll spread it out over a number of years. It's a wonderful way if you're having a problem maintaining your retirement. This is all tax-free income. You still retain ownership. Upon your death, if it should go upside down, there's a life insurance feature that goes with the reverse mortgage, and it'll pay it off. So it's something to really look at. It's a great
Do you have to
tool.
pay off your existing mortgage to get that?
Pardon me?
Do you have to pay off your existing mortgage?
No, they'll pay it off. And you just get to live there for free. You have to pay your property taxes every year, and you have to keep your insurance up, and you have to keep your home in good repair. But that's about the only criteria there is.
Okay. And any fees like you have to pay to get the mortgage, the regular mortgage, right? Like appraisal fees, stuff like that?
No, that'll all go into the closing costs.
Okay. So
there's nothing you have to come up with. So I think if you're having issues with financial things as you are retired and you want to stay at your home, this is a great tool to put in your toolbox.
And don't forget, I've had several clients try to do this, and you have to have equity in your house. So
Right.
don't forget that.
no, I should have plenty of equity.
Okay, good.
Not sure. I'm estimating the property's worth about $400,000.
Well, if you want to talk, I'm very happy to talk to you about it. You understand that pretty much you're getting rid of that equity that would have gone to your heirs. But if you love living where you live and you don't want the burden of the expenses of home ownership and you want to live there for free, it's hard to beat living someplace for free.
Yep.
Yeah. If I do that and subsequent to that, a year or 2 or 3 years later or whatever, I decide that I do want to move, can I sell the property and pay that off?
Yeah, right. But you're going to have to pay back the bank for the money that they gave you up front.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay, thank you very much. I can call you.
Call us at 632-7886, and we'll be very happy to help you. But it really is a great tool for seniors. I've seen seniors who have a mortgage, they have a fixed income, they don't know where to go. The amount of money they're getting from Social Security is getting less and less because of Medicare, and it really does help. And it's tax-free money.
So it's 632-7886.
Right.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Have a nice time.
Thank you.
You
I'm
too.
Esther Golias, the tax lady, 803-0930, 803-0930, star 930 on a cell phone. We want to help you if you want to join the last 15 minutes of the show. Would love to hear what you have to say. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be back on the other side.
Did you know that the IRS has already announced that they are delaying some refunds, at least until February 15, 2017? Were you counting on that refund? Let's tax plan now for the fourth quarter and maybe get more money in your paycheck. That's right. Use your money now instead of waiting for later. EG Tax offers year-round tax planning at no charge, so there's no hidden surprises for you come tax time. So this year, come join our family. Call 632-7886 or click egtax.com. EG Tax has a special gift for you. After all, it's the holiday season. Let EG Tax come to your group or function and present a seminar to help you reduce your tax bill and get ready for the upcoming tax season. This is on a first-come, first-served basis, so don't wait. Call now. Call 632-7886 or click egtax.com. Again, call 632-7886. And happy holidays from your EG Tax family.
Auto Group is always bringing you new and exciting deals. This year, to get a jump start on tax season, we're partnering with EG Tax.
I'm Esther Golias, the tax lady. EG Tax will help you to get a jump start on your future tax refund.
Based on your future tax refund, Keepo is able to advance you the money towards your next vehicle. That way, you can drive away in one of our new or pre-owned vehicles sooner.
So to get a jump on tax season, EG Tax is asking you to come join our family.
For your next vehicle, where should you go? Keepo!
The heating season is here. Wentz Propane and Oil wants you to stay warm. Call today to schedule your delivery and get $100 off your next delivery if you refer a friend. Call Jack today at 731-9826 or 731-3015. Mention EG Tax for a special discount. Call today, 731-9826. That's 731-9826 for Wentz Propane and Oil.
The tax lady from EG Tax, 803-0930, 803-0930, star 930 on the cell phone. We're talking about commonly missed deductions. One of them is HSA contributions, right, Chris and Tiff?
Right, your health savings account. You know, people, it's automatically, people do it through their paycheck, but they could also do it outside of their paycheck,
That's
too.
exactly right.
And what if you're
people outside of their paycheck?
Yep.
Right?
What if you're a self-employed person? You contribute to an HSA. That's also something you want to look at.
Use it because you can even. I have someone who's a realtor, and he uses it as an extra retirement account because that's what the HSA does turn into.
True. You know. How about business travel? Going out of town looking for work, whether you're maybe you're self-employed, that's deductible. People miss that. Tax preparation is deductible. Safe deposit boxes are deductible. Gambling loss is up to your income.
Your gambling
if you're able to itemize.
Yep. It all goes by to your gambling income, but you can't offset your gambling losses right on page 1 of the 1040.
That's correct.
You know,
how about state and local sales taxes paid? State taxes paid, sales taxes paid. So if you just bought a car last year, a boat, a plane, anything where you would have paid sales taxes, that's an itemized deduction if it's larger than your state withholding.
That's right. Whatever one's
Where
larger.
Most retirees would be using that.
Right. Medical expenses, I'll tell you, if your medical's over 10% of your adjusted gross income, load up on that. Charity, clean out your closets, get ready for the new year.
Oh, my God. Last week.
There may be someone living in your home that's a qualified dependent. If you're supporting them for the full year and they have wages of less than, $4,100 this year, right?
That's right.
They can be claimed as a dependent.
Yep. Last week I went to Savers. You just drive up the thing. A garage door opens. They take your stuff and you go. It's the best thing in the world on Sheridan. It was just
You
great.
got to make sure you have your.
I got it. Okay.
Your receipt.
Your ticky.
Got to have your receipt.
No ticky,
right?
no washy.
Earned income credit for people without children. I think this is missed all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people without children under age 65 who have wages aren't aware that they can get the earned income credit.
Yep, one for the federal, one for the state. Pretty cool.
And how about EIC for someone who's on a disability pension who has children in their house?
Mm-hmm. Roll it up to wages.
Absolutely, that's for sure. Okay, let's go back to the phones. We got Jack from Cheektowaga. Hey, Jack, how can we help you?
Good afternoon. How you doing?
Good.
I'm going through a divorce, and my wife has custody of my children. I'm not living in the home. I'm living by myself, and I'm paying about $14,400 a year in child support. Can I use that as a deduction or a write-off or anything? I mean, I don't know what the procedures are.
I told you guys, when it's bad news, I never like to answer, so you tell Jack the
Rock,
bad news.
paper, scissors.
Well, there's the credit on New York State for a non-custodial parent who pays child support. And so does the child support come right out of your paycheck, Jack?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, and are you current?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so there's
how much is your income, Jack?
My income?
A year.
Yeah.
Just about $58,000 to $60,000.
All right, so he's not going to qualify for that. Tiffany's talking about the
non-custodial
earned income credit equivalent on the state of New York if you would have gotten an earned income credit. But basically, when you're paying child support, you aren't allowed to take that as an expense. And you can't even claim the children unless the custodial parent gives you the right to claim the children via Form 8332. And I will tell you, this is the time of year when you want to straighten this out. Wouldn't you agree, Chris?
Definitely time to play nice. Now, does your ex-wife work?
Oh, yes, she does.
Okay. Because sometimes the non-custodial parent just says, I can't claim my children, and then the custodial parent doesn't even work, so it doesn't even help her or him on the tax return, where you could have tried to get them to release the exemption.
Jack, is it a divorce situation, or is it just that are you guys in the process of divorce?
It's not finalized yet. It's probably January, February.
Make sure when you're finalizing the divorce and the divorce decree, it's a really good idea. I've been doing this for a long time, that it says maybe 1 year you get to claim one of the kids and 1 year she gets to claim another one of the kids. So before the pen hits the paper, make sure you find out and that it's allowed that you get to claim the kids sometimes.
Has she talked about allowing you to claim the children as dependents?
I don't want to talk about that.
I understand. Because it can be so contentious.
But the lawyer
what we'd like to do, this is my suggestion, is before you guys finalize the divorce, if you want to give us a call, we'll help you and her to try to mediate this so that you both get the best that you can possibly get. Because it can be so hurtful when somebody's heart is broken, you know what I'm saying? But we will make the phone calls for you and her to find out how it'll work out best for both of you. So if you want to call us, there's no charge, and we'll be very happy to help you.
And sorry, Chris, to review, you cannot write off the child support because your income is too high. And before you sign the divorce decree, call us and check with us.
Right. And since I hate to put more salt in the wound, but since the divorce isn't final this year, you're going to be married filing separate on your tax return for 2016.
Which is not a happy thing.
All right, I appreciate all your assistance.
Unless you guys agree to join.
Much, Jack. It's terrible. That first year, it's such a killer. Let's go to Holly from Lancaster. Hey, Holly, how can we help you?
Hi. I have a question on an HSA.
Yeah.
My husband is currently contributing, and he's going to be 65 in March. He is told that he can't sign up for Medicare. Does that include Medicare Part A, which he doesn't have to pay for?
Well, once he's 65, he has to sign up for Medicare.
Is he still working?
Yes.
So he has health insurance through his employer?
His job.
Yes.
Yep,
okay.
That's
why.
Okay.
That's why, because you can have it through your right.
Right. So if he's still employed, then he would not get Medicare because you're covered under a qualified plan at work.
But I mean, Part A is something that you sign up for that you don't pay for, and you're supposed to supposedly sign up for it.
Okay, well, have you called Social Security and told them your situation?
Holly?
I can't hear you.
Have you called Social Security to talk to them about your situation?
No.
Yeah,
okay, that's what I would suggest you do. And if you want to come into the office, we'll be very happy to help you make that call. But once you're age 65, you qualify for. You have to go on Medicare unless you are covered under a qualified plan. So the best thing to do is to talk to Social Security and let them know.
If you weren't covered by a plan, but if you're covered by a plan, you can just wait.
Right. Correct.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks, Holly.
And also, if you want to call the office, I could do a conference call with you and your husband.
With Medicare, right?
Yeah.
And Social Security.
And make sure.
All right, let's go to line 3, and we'll talk to Mr. Bill, who's been patiently waiting.
Bill?
Hello, Bill.
Oh, hello.
Hi. How can we help you?
Okay. Let me tell you my situation. I'm on Social Security disability, and my son works full-time, and he just joined last year a health insurance program provided through his employer. He was only on the health insurance for 7 months. And now, is he subject to the fine through the IRS?
Not necessarily.
He could be because of the 5 months without having health insurance. It's all going to depend on how much money he made during the year, because those 5 months, there's certain exemptions we could use, and one is the unaffordability of it. If the second, the lowest silver cost plan is more than 8.05% of his income per month, then he would not get hit with the penalty.
So how much do you think he made last year?
I think he made about 400, maybe a little under 400 a week.
For the whole year or 6 months?
Yeah, for the whole year.
So we're talking about $20,000?
Yeah.
Oh, he would qualify for the exemption.
If 1,600 would be 8%, Chris.
Yeah, and then while they're doing some math, Bill, do you live with your son? I was wondering, does your son live with you?
He lives with me.
Does he support you? Because you said you're on Social Security disability.
Not really. Like I said, I'm on Social Security disability. I get about $1,000 a month.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. So the silver plan would have cost him probably about $350 a month. So that's almost $4,000. So he would qualify for the exemption to penalty.
So there's a penalty that we can do when we do the tax return to get him out of paying the penalty for the Affordable Care Act.
Okay. Now.
Okay.
He's in East Aurora a lot. Do you have a branch office in East Aurora?
Yeah, we do. We have one right on Main Street, right by the theater.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So tell your son not to pay the penalty. We'll make sure we do the exception for him. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Great. Thanks for calling. Merry Christmas. Okay, other commonly missed deductions is IRA and SEP contributions. Military travel is an adjustment. So if you're in the military, you don't have to do a 2106. That's an adjustment to income. Job seeking and moving expenses, student loan interest, child care deductions, especially when they have it through the employer, uniform costs, union dues, bad debts, separate maintenance and alimony, including third-party pays, and education expenses and credits. And if you need any help, EG Tax is open 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. We will sit down with you. You can come in. We'll do some tax planning for you to make sure that if you've missed something in the past, we'll make sure that you don't miss it this year, and we'll get you ready for 2016 filing. Right, guys?
That's right. That's right. It's as George always says, it's time to make the hay. I'm going to get a shirt during tax season or a hat, and I'm making hay because it's a lot of work.
So is there anything before our show closes that has happened that people should know about this week relative to New York State or letters we've gotten from the federal government?
I'd say not. I mean, they're the same letters that we're always getting, verify your education, your college costs.
Yep.
And you really have to be tenacious with that. I mean, you just can't just say, oh, I just don't feel like. If you don't feel like, you're going to lose the deduction. But that doesn't mean just because they asked you that they're going to take it away, because you have to prove it, and we want to help you.
I had somebody come in this week, and they had gambling winnings. Another friend, they claimed their gambling winnings. They said, will you put this on your tax return for me? And she didn't know you had to claim it, and she was very sad.
That's true. I'm Esther Golias, the tax lady from EG Tax. Our website is egtax.com. If during the week you're at a Christmas party and people start talking about taxes and you got a question, you can go right to our website, Ask the Tax Lady. We'll be very happy to answer your tax question. If you need us during the week, you can get us at 632-7886. And until next week, I'm Esther Golias with Tiffany Fabian and Christopher Fabian from EG Tax. Have a blessed week. Merry Christmas.